This Shangri-La Frontier Green deck revolves around discarding event cards for various effects. But what happens when you don't have event cards? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Mobby here, and today I'm going to be giving you my personal deck list for this green Shangri-La Frontier deck that revolves around Emul and Sunraku. Make sure to like and subscribe, it really helps out the channel. I upload daily duels and deck profiles for different anime TCGs. Alright guys, so here we are. If you guys are interested in how I got these English proxies, there's a link in the description for you guys in order to, go ahead and grab it yourselves. Anyways, let's talk about it, and then stay tuned to at the end of the video. I'll let you guys know if I think this is a good deck or not. So these are the current action points that I'm using, because it revolves around Emul. Alright, so we're going to talk about the 0 cost all the way to 4 cost. This deck runs really low, with the highest being a 4 and 2 raid cards in this deck, which is Emul and Sunraku, both of which there are 10 raid sources for. So beginning with Bylak, and there's 10 0 costs in here. This is a Vorpal Bunny, and this is a basic, just a nice filler, because I want to run 10 0 costs, so the other 8 are the raid sources card. But here's a Vorpal Bunny, so it has a pretty good damage for it being a 0 cost, so you can use it to throw on the front line afterwards, and then the trigger is drawing a card. There is a card that works with the Vorpal Bunny archetype, so this will work in there. Next off, we have Rakuro Hizutome. So this card is also treated as Sunraku, which is your raid cards of the deck. So this is your basic 0 cost raid source, and with the trigger, add this card to your hand. Next off, we have the other 0 cost raid source in the form of Emul. It's another Vorpal Bunny for the card upcoming later. This one has an on play. You choose another character to get plus 1000 BP during the turn. The BP won't usually come into play and matter much, but this being a raid source plus active 3000, that's a really good trigger for running 4 of these in your deck. Now, moving on to the other event of the deck. This deck is running a lot of events, because there is some cards that we have to sort of trash them to get some abilities off of it. So we are running 2 of these friend rescues. You're going to look at the top 5, it will reveal 1 energy 2 or less and add it to your hand. Then the others go to the bottom. Then you get to play a green character 1 or less. Now this is kind of nice, because if you already have a character you want to play in your hand, for instance, let's just say this Emul, you can grab a 2 cost or less, and then you can already play this one in your hand. So it's really versatile that way, but you're primarily having these 2 here as more event cards in order to just be trashed. Now moving on to our 1 cost, this is Emul. So this is a 1 cost on play. Look at the top 3. You can grab a Sunraku, Rabbituza, which is the field card of this deck, or a Vorpal Bunny, which is, these Emuls or the Bylaks, and then you add it to your hand, but then you have to trash one afterwards. If you trash a specific card in this deck with this ability, you are going to get some benefits. So this is a great card to put in, and we're running 3 of these. Next off, another 1 cost, we have another Rakuro Hizutome, also treated as Sunraku for the raid ability. On play, draw 1 and trash 1. However, if you trashed a green event, you can choose another character on your front line, and then this character, that character could not be blocked by a 4000 or more during this turn. So the highest sort of damage you'll see in this deck as a base card is going to be 4000. A lot of them are 2000, 3500. So yeah, having the ability to just bypass some really high defense might make it so you can easily win the game towards the end game. So they're running 3 of these as well. Moving on to our 2 costs, we have Bylak. This is a Vorpal Bunny here. So once again, Vorpal Bunny can be searched by the friend rescue and all that stuff. When this character is active, you want to increase the energy generation by 1. So basically, you want to keep these in the backline. Your best sort of scenario is going to be 2 energy pluses in the backline and 2 field stages. That's going to be your best bet here. So this is an early attacker, as well as being able to generate some resources if you need it. Now we'll move on to the 4 colors of the deck, and instead of being a character, this is an event card. So this is called Repel Counter for 2 costs. If you activate this, you draw 1 card and then give somebody 1000 BP, which is pretty good. However, when this card is placed from your hand to the outside by the effect of any one of your green cards, you get to draw one card. So as we talked about, you can do stuff like using this Rakuro to draw and trash one, which is this event card to get bonuses. Same thing with this Emul. You can search for another card, then you can trash that one to get some abilities. So that's why you're running 4 of these in the deck. It's really nice because there's other cards here that make it so you should trash some events for your abilities. And also the color is you get to summon a 2 or less AP, 2 or less and 1 AP hand in active mode. Next we have Rabbituza. These are your 2 stages of the deck. So on play, choose 1 character, gets 1000. That's fine, right? However, main rest, choose a Sunraku or a Vorpal, which is every single one of your characters in this deck. You can give it, this character cannot be blocked by a 4000 plus character. So just like the other Sunraku card, this makes it so you can easily bypass high defense cards with your weak units. Now you have to remember this one does not come in active, it comes in rested, so you can only use this on your next turn. However, the turn you do play, you do get that 500. So as mentioned before, 2 Rabitusas in the backline and maybe 1 or 2 energy generators plus energy generators in the backline, and that's pretty much what you're gonna want. And the trigger here is add this card to your hand. So we're running 2 of these. Next we have these 3-cost Sunrakus. So during your opponent's turn, this character gets negative 1000, and for a good reason. He has 4000 in general if you attack on your turn. So you can throw this on the backline for a while, but you primarily want this on the front line. And just in case you don't get any really good energy generators, you can keep it in the backline until you can get maybe a raid source on this. But this is a very strong card. We're running 3 of these. Now, for another 3, we're running Emul. It's a Vorpal Bunny. So this one has impact negates, and I really like its ability. So on retire, or when sidelined, you can place 1 green event from your hand to the outside. Then if you did, you get to play this in the front line rested. So once again, what is the best card you want to pitch as a green event? It's going to be the repel counter. You pretty much put it in your trash, and then you get to draw a card. You replace it, and you get the ability from this. So yes, this is another card that's pretty good in the back line, and then you throw in the front line when you need to. And you remember, even though this is a pretty weak with 2000, there's a lot of cards in the deck that make it so if you have a character affected by the ability, your opponent can't block with 4000 or more, which is kind of like your win conditions for the most part. Now for your 4 specials of the deck, this is Vorpal Soul at the 3 costs here. Choose 1 character on your area, it gains 2500, and Sniper, meaning usually you're gonna have like a 2000 at the very worst. You want to put it at this 2000 character, and then you can have a 4500 and snipe something. So there is the other special where it's kind of like a 4 cost, it KOs a 3. However, if you have a Sunraku, it KOs a 5 cost. That's pretty basic. I decided to run this one because you do have a character later on which gives you impact, so you can snipe impact somebody. Or at the very best, you can use it to use one of your small characters to KO something specifically on their thing that is on their turn, specifically on their field, on their front line that is protected by other stuff. So a lot of decks run, cards in the front line that say if this character is on the field, no other characters on your field can be chosen by event cards. This one makes it so you can just snipe anything you want. So that's why we're running it. It's for the versatility. Now you're running your 4 finals. This is just called friend request, nothing special. Choose 2 AP, set as active, and of course the final is, if this is the last one to be chosen as a trigger, you get to heal 1. Okay, so now we're running these 2 Sunrakus. These are some tech cards. These are 2 actions, so that's why we're only running 2 in here. So on play, you draw 1 card, and then you get to trash any number of green cards from your hand, and depending on how many and what you've trashed, you will get this ability. So if you trash a character card, you can set this as active. If you trash an event card, which is the best one is going to be that color one, you get to choose an opponent 3000 or less and KO it. Or if you trash a field card, which you have 2 in the stick, you get to draw 2 cards. So you can do 1 to 3 or nothing at all. Obviously, the best ones are probably the event card and the character card to attack the same turn and make sure your opponent can KO a weak character on the board. And the trigger is added to your hand. It's a really nice card. Okay, now for your raid card of the deck. This is Emul, 4 cost Vorpal Bunny. This one only has 3500 power. So raiding on Emul, then at the end of your attack phase, you grab 1 green event from your hand and trash it, or you trash this, and then you are left with the raid source card. Once again, I'm going to go back. The best card to trash is going to be your repel counter. Anytime this gets trashed, you get to draw 1 card. The on play of this ability is you add up to 2 green events with 3 energy or less from your outside to your hand. So the 2 best ones to grab are actually going to be the repelled counter and your Vorpal Soul. If you do end up running the other one, the other special that I talked about, you won't be able to grab it with this. So that's another really good reason you want to run these. So Vorpal Souls and the repelled counters, that's what you want to grab with these Emul. So these are really good for recycling those key events back to your hand. Next off, it's Sunraku, the final card of the deck, another raid source. So this character has Impact 1, which is another great character to give that snipe card to. Then on play, when this character is chosen by the effect of an event card, meaning it's until the start of your next turn. So meaning if they do it from their hand or if it's from a trigger, it doesn't matter. It's the effect of an event card. They cannot choose it unless they trash 2 more cards from their hand. This is until the start of your next turn. So the turn that you played out, it's protected from triggers, and then the following turn, your opponent's turn, they can't use it unless they trash more. So it's a really nice way to keep them alive for a while. And then on block, once per turn, you get to draw 1 card first. Then this character gets negative 3,000. Or you can trash 1 event card, and then this character gets 3 plus 1,000. So you either draw and block and don't do anything, unfortunately, and you lose. You get down to 1,000, or you complete block by trashing something, the repel counter. Then this goes up to 7,000, which is really nice. If you don't have an event card in your hand, you can always draw 1 and hope for the best. But that's pretty much it. So that's it for the deck. It's so you might be noticing I'm running a couple of 2 costs and 3 costs of a lot of things, because any deck that runs a lot of events, you really want to try to put more events. And of course the stage is pretty good in here as well. So we have 3 of these Emuls, 3 of these Sunrakus, 2 Rebitsus, of course 4 of the key cards in here, 2 of these, 3 of these, and 3 of these. So however, I think this deck is fun and balanced. It's not the worst deck. It has stuff where you bring stuff back from the graveyard, which is always a really good ability. But yeah, for the most part, that is it. And I will let you know, I think this deck is pretty mid. It has some good events coming back, and it refills itself for trashing stuff from your hand. But if you don't draw those events, then you're kind of screwed. The best sort of decks in this deck, in this game, I think, are cards that throw a body out as well as have an effect like removal. A lot of this is, hopefully you have an event. You have to have multiple cards for it to work. All right, guys, so that's it. If you guys are also interested, head on over to my newly launched website called Mobby TCG. This is where I upload every single deck profile in image and text form, so you guys can check them all out for Union, Arena, One Piece, and a lot of other stuff. You can also get proxies if you guys want to download them. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.